His name was Tarek, and he was small for his species, with soft blue fur and wide gold eyes. His mother carried him as if gravity itself had turned hostile. She spoke through the translator, and her voice trembled. I was told that humans have a remedy for fever. Dr. Mira Anand had been on Althea Station for 6 months, and she had treated plasma burns, radiation rashes, and stress-induced molting. She had not expected to become famous for boiling water. "We do have a remedy," she said gently. "It is called teeth." Her mother blinked in confusion. "Tea is a medical compound. It is leaves and warmth," Myra said, and patient she led them into the small embassy kitchen, where the air smelled faintly of metal and citrus. Cleanser. Myra filled a kettle and set it to heat, while the cub shivered in his mother's arms. "What are his symptoms?" she asked. "Elevated core temperature, lethargy, refusal of food, and soft distress sounds during rest." Mira nodded, since she had seen this many times in human children whose immune systems were learning the universe. The kettle began to sing, and she poured hot water over dried chamomile and mint that she had brought from Earth. Steam rose in soft spirals and filled the room with a gentle scent. She knelt so she was level with Tarek. "This will taste gentle," she said. "Will tell your body that it is safe to rest." The cub sniffed the steam, and his whiskers twitched. His mother hesitated and asked if there were stimulants or metabolic accelerants. "Only warmth and calming compounds," Mira replied. She cooled the cup and helped the cub sip. He made a small, uncertain sound, then drank. Again his breathing slowed and his eyes softened within a short time. His shivering eased. Soon he was asleep in his mother's arms. The mother stared at the cup as if it were advanced technology. "This is tea?" she asked softly. "Yes," Myra answered. "On your world this is common, very common." Dar bowed deeply and left with her child, resting peacefully. Myra believed that would be the end of it. 2 days later, 3 more cubs arrived, and 7 by the end of the week. There was a line outside the embassy medical wing. Different clans, different fur colors, different crest shapes, saw with mild fevers and anxious parents asking about Timira, examined each child carefully, and ruled out serious infections. She brewed pot after pot until the kitchen became a sanctuary of steam and soft voices. Each cub recovered. Word traveled faster than cargo ships. Althea Station orbited a trade nexus, and crews from many species passed through. Each month someone recorded a holler of a blue cub drinking from a human mug and purring softly. The caption claimed that a human healer used leaf water to cure a child. The holler spread across sector. First adult arrived alone. He was a cargo pilot, broad-plated and dramatic. "I require tea," he announced. Mira looked up calmly. "What are your symptoms?" "Profound exhaustion, emotional instability, possible fever." She scanned him and found perfect vitals. "You are healthy," she said. He leaned closer and admitted that the cub in the holly looked peaceful. "You want to feel peaceful," Mira suggested. "Is not a miracle," she explained. "It is comfort, and it helps the body do what it already knows." "That is acceptable," he replied. She brewed him a cup. He held it carefully, and steam fogged his visor. After one sip he closed all 4 eyes and sighed. "This is remarkably pleasant," he said. He left a generous donation. The next day 5 more adults arrived with vague symptoms, mild chills, slight headaches, uncertain fatigue. Myra began to suspect a pattern. On the 7th day, a patrol cruiser from the Kethari Collective docked without clearance. A message requested urgent medical assistance, and Timuro walked to the docking ring and found armored soldiers standing in perfect formation. Their captain stepped forward. "Our crew has experienced simultaneous immune weakness," he declared. "All of you?" Mira asked. "Yes." Described the weakness. A pause followed. "We Feel slightly off the captain, admitted Mira, folded her arms and waited. The captain lowered his voice and explained that morale across the fleet had declined due to operational strain. They believed tea might enhance resilience. So none of you are clinically ill. Myra said. Another pause, not in measurable terms. She exhaled slowly and looked at the soldiers who lived in metal corridors far from home. Very well, she said, but you will wait your turn. She brewed in large quantities and requested more herbs from Earth. The embassy garden became a greenhouse filled with green leaves. And warm, light Co-3 soldiers sat on the floor of the medical wing with armor stacked neatly beside them. They sipped tea from mismatched human mugs decorated with cats and sunflowers postures. Relaxed, and voices softened. One soldier murmured that the beverage tasted like safety. The horror of that moment spread even faster. Within a month, multiple ships requested docking each week. They all reported mild symptoms and low-grade stress markers. None were in danger. All wanted tea. Station administration contacted Myra and expressed concern about logistics. She replied that she was providing morale support for imaginary illness they argued for. Exhausted beings, she corrected. She announced open tea hours, twice per cycle. Basic health scans were required. And anyone with true illness received full treatment. Anyone healthy received tea, and a brief lesson. She explained that on Earth, humans boiled water to make it safe, and added leaves to remind themselves to pause. One engineer repeated, as if tasting the word yes. She said to sit, to breathe, to exist without urgency. The idea spread with the steam fleet's coordinated patrol routes around tea hours. Ships that once avoided human sectors now made detours. One morning Myra walked into the docking ring and found 20 ships, waiting cruisers, trade barges, scout vessels, all broadcasting minor complaints. She laughed softly. The station director arrived in frustration. "This is absurd," he said. Mira gestured toward the gathered cruise engineers sat beside. Soldiers and traders exchanged stories with patrol officers. No one argued, and no weapons were drawn. Steam drifted upward in gentle clouds. "They are not here for medicine," the director said. Slowly. "No," she agreed. "They are here for permission to rest." A young cadet approached and reported that his captain experienced recurring symptoms. "What symptoms?" Myra asked. "He says, tea tastes like being cared for." The cadet replied. Myra felt unexpected warmth in her chest. "Care is not a symptom," she said. "It is made." Turned into months, and the greenhouse expanded. Again, local agricultural guilds cultivated Terran herbs under license D, became an official import category. Ships began hosting their own tea sessions, and Mira shared preparation methods openly. "The cup first," she instructed. "Pour. Slowly weights it together." The patrol cruiser returned one cycle, and the captain approached without armor. "Wheat. No longer report false symptoms," he said. "We schedule rest and brew tea independently." "I'm proud of you," Myra replied. "However," he added. She smiled and waited. "Does not taste the same," he admitted. "That is because you are missing the final ingredient," she said, "which is someone else making it for youth." Captain considered this deeply. The following cycle he returned with officers who brewed tea for the station dock workers. Mira watched as armored hands carefully poured steaming water for tired mechanics. The workers looked stunned, then grateful. The practice spread again, with fleets offering tea instead of demanding its rival. Ships exchanged leaves instead of warnings. Medical complaints across the sector decreased because crews slept more, talked more, and shared quiet moments. The holler networks began calling it the human pause. Mira never intended to start a movement. Quiet evening. Tarek returned, taller and healthy. He carried a small ceramic cup painted in careful blue strokes. For you, he said. Shyly she knelt to meet his eyes. Once, Marai, do tea now, he told her proudly, for my clutchmates, when they feel afraid. Does it work, she asked. She nodded. It tastes like safety mirror. Looked through the viewport at the crowded docking ring where ships from many species rested side by side. Steam rose from open cargo bays where crews gathered around simple kettles. Humanity had not brought the most advanced weapons to the stars. They had brought leaves and warmth, and the simple courage to pause in. A galaxy of vengeance, war drives and endless urgency. They offered something small and radical, a cup, held in both hands a moment, without fear and the reminder that care does not require illness only, the willingness to share warmth.